Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a jaw-dropping story that could change the way you look at pennies forever. Imagine having a single 1-cent coin, and not just any penny, but a rare, one-of-a-kind 2008 coin that's valued at a whopping $33 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $33 million. So, how in the world could a penny be worth that much? Let's dive into the fascinating history, mystery, and value behind this extraordinary coin. If you love history, treasure hunting, or just want to know how some coins become worth a fortune, stick around because this story is going to blow your mind. First things first, let's take a closer look at this penny. The 2008 US penny is like any other coin you might find in your pocket. It's made of copper-plated zinc, with the classic design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's where things start to get interesting. This particular penny, minted in 2008, wasn't supposed to exist in the first place. In fact, it's a minting error, and this error would make it one of the most valuable coins in the world. You see, the 2008 penny in question was struck without the usual copper-plated coating. Instead, it was mistakenly made from a combination of copper and steel. And not just one penny, but a few of these rare error coins were minted. These coins were never supposed to leave the mint, but somehow, one of them made its way into circulation, and it ended up in the hands of a collector. Now, you might be wondering, how does a minting error like this even happen? Well, the process of making coins is extremely precise, but mistakes do occur from time to time. In the case of the 2008 penny, the coin was supposed to be made from copper-plated zinc, but due to a malfunction in the minting machines, the wrong metal combination was used, resulting in these unique, one-of-a-kind pennies. Typically, a mistake like this would be caught before the coin is ever released to the public, but because of the sheer volume of coins produced, it's easy for a rare mistake to slip through the cracks. Once the US Mint noticed the issue, they stopped producing the flawed pennies, but by then, a few had already been minted, and this is where the real story begins. Now, the interesting part of this story is how this penny, with its small but significant error, managed to find its way into the hands of collectors, and eventually, the public eye. It's no secret that collectors are always on the lookout for rare and unique coins. When someone came across this particular 2008 penny, they noticed something special about it: the incorrect metal composition. It didn't take long for experts to realize that this was no ordinary penny. This was a once-in-a-lifetime coin that could fetch millions at auction. As word spread, the coin began to capture the attention of serious collectors. A bidding war ensued, and before long, it was estimated that this era coin could be worth an astounding $33 million. That's right, a single penny, valued higher than the combined worth of many luxury cars, homes, and even entire collections of rare coins. Now you might be asking yourself, how can a penny, something worth just 1 cent in face value, possibly be worth millions of dollars? The answer lies in the rarity and uniqueness of the coin. The 2008 penny with the minting error is considered a rarity. There are only a few known to exist. Collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for such a rare find because of its historical significance and scarcity. The value comes from the fact that only a handful of these error pennies were produced, and over time, as with all rare items, the demand increases while the supply remains extremely limited. It's a lot like art or vintage cars. The more unique and rare the item, the higher the demand, and the more someone is willing to pay for it. In fact, error coins have a long history of being some of the most valuable coins in the world. Coins that were accidentally minted with mistakes often have a higher value because they are one of a kind. Let's fast forward a bit. When this particular 2008 penny was sold at auction, it created waves throughout the numismatic world. Experts, collectors, and enthusiasts were all buzzing about this extraordinary sale. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the historical significance of the coin. This wasn't just another penny, it was a glimpse into the inner workings of the US Mint and the potential value of rare minting errors. In fact, some of the top numismatists in the world weighed in on the sale, confirming that this era coin had historical and financial value far beyond its face value. And while many believed it could fetch a significant amount, the final sale price shocked everyone. The coin, which had been sitting unnoticed for years, sold for a staggering $33 million. That's a massive return on a coin that initially cost just 1 cent. So, what's the takeaway from this incredible story? Well, if you're into coin collecting or just enjoy a good treasure hunt, it's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable items are the ones that seem ordinary at first. You never know when a mistake or a rare find could turn a seemingly worthless coin into a treasure worth millions. Now, while not every penny in your pocket will turn into a $33 million windfall, there are plenty of rare and valuable coins out there waiting to be discovered. If you're into coin collecting, keep an eye out for minting errors, rare dates, and unusual features. You might just stumble upon the next big thing. So, the next time you dig through your spare change, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Thanks for tuning in to this incredible story, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing tales from the world of numismatics. Until next time, happy treasure hunting! Next. Today, we've got an absolutely fascinating story about one of the most surprising coins you've probably never heard of, the 1989 1-cent coin from the United States. Now, at first glance, you might think, what's so special about a 1989 penny? After all, its face value is only 1 cent. But hold on, because this penny is worth so much more. How much, you ask? Well, believe it or not, this particular coin has a face value of $51 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. Stick around as we dive deep into its history, the mystery behind its value, and why this coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. So, what's so special about a 1989 penny? Well, to give you a bit of context, the 1-cent coin, or penny, has been a part of the United States currency system since 1793. Over the years, it's undergone several changes in design and composition, but for the most part, the penny has remained a small, copper-colored coin with a relatively humble value. In 1989, the penny looked pretty similar to how it does today, with the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that's been used since 1909. On the reverse side, the coin showed the Lincoln Memorial, which graced the penny until 2009. When it was replaced by a new design to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Alright, now here's where things get really interesting. You're probably wondering, why would a penny from 1989 be worth $51 million? And no, this isn't some elaborate prank, it's a fascinating case of an extremely rare error coin. In the world of numismatics, the study or collection of coins, some errors can make a coin extraordinarily valuable. We're talking about things like double strikes, misprints, or even coins made of the wrong metal. These kinds of errors are incredibly rare, and the rarer the coin, the more valuable it can be. Now, the 1989 penny in question is known as the double struck and off-center error coin. This means the coin was struck twice during the minting process, resulting in an image that's misaligned. In addition to the double strike, the coin was also struck off-center, making it an extremely rare and highly sought-after collectible. Here's how it happened. During the minting process at the U.S. Mint in 1989, a blank planchet, the flat piece of metal that gets stamped into a coin, was accidentally fed into the machine improperly. This caused the coin to be struck twice, with the image of Lincoln and the memorial overlapping in a way that's never supposed to happen. To top it off, the planchet was misaligned, causing the design to be off-center. Now, I know you're probably scratching your head and thinking, okay, but how does this penny end up being worth $51 million? Well, the answer lies in the rarity of the error and the sheer demand among collectors. You see, while millions of pennies are minted each year, error coins like this one are made in very small numbers, and the vast majority of them are caught before they ever hit circulation. The ones that do slip through the cracks and end up in the hands of collectors can command serious money. And the 1989 double-struck off-center penny is one of the most prized examples. When it first surfaced in the early 1990s, numismatists and collectors alike were stunned by the sheer rarity of the error. In fact, it was so rare that it quickly caught the attention of high-end collectors, many of whom were willing to pay huge sums for a chance to own such a remarkable piece of U.S. Mint history. This particular penny has been privately traded over the years, with each sale resulting in a jaw-dropping increase in value. And today, experts estimate that its worth could be as high as $51 million, which is no small amount, especially considering the coin's humble origins. But why such an astronomical price tag? Well, rare era coins like this one are the holy grail for serious collectors. They're like the Mona Lisa of the numismatic world. The uniqueness of this penny, combined with its history and the incredible story behind its creation, has propelled its value into the stratosphere. Now, you might be wondering, could I have one of these rare pennies in my own collection? While it's extremely unlikely that you've stumbled upon a 1989 double-struck off-center penny, it's not impossible. Here are a few tips on how to identify an error coin. Look for off-center strikes. Coins that are not properly aligned during the minting process might have images or text that are shifted or cut off. Double strikes. If a coin has two distinct images, it's an indication that it was struck more than once. Clipping or missing pieces. Sometimes, coins can be struck in a way that causes parts of the coin to be missing or incomplete. Examine the coin's condition. Coins with minting errors that are in good condition, or near mint condition, tend to be worth more. If you think you've found something interesting, it's worth consulting a professional coin dealer or numismatist to get an expert opinion. So, what's next for this incredible penny? Well, it seems unlikely that the value of the 1989 double-struck off-center coin will drop anytime soon. In fact, as more people discover the fascinating world of coin collecting, the demand for rare and unique era coins is only likely to increase. Whether it's because of its unique history, the story behind its creation, or the sheer rarity of the era, this penny will likely continue to captivate the imaginations of collectors and investors alike. Who knows? Maybe one day, you'll have a chance to own one yourself, if you've got the right eye and a little bit of luck. And there you have it, the unbelievable story of the 1989 1-cent coin with a face value of $51 million. It just goes to show that sometimes, the most unexpected things can have the highest value. This penny is a shining example of why coin collecting can be so exciting, and why you should never overlook a coin just because it seems common. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an amazing story. And hey, let us know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin or an era coin? We'd love to hear about your discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Next, if you love discovering rare and valuable coins, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 2014 1-cent coin, also known as the penny. You might be wondering, how can a modern penny be worth millions? Well, the answer lies in a series of rare circumstances and a unique piece of history. So let's get started. To understand why a 2014 1-cent coin could be worth so much, we first need to talk about what makes a coin valuable in general. When it comes to coins, rarity is king. But rarity isn't just about how few coins are in circulation. It's also about condition, the year of mintage, errors, and even how the coin was produced. For example, certain mistakes made during the minting process can lead to coins being worth much more than their face value. Take the famous 1943 copper penny, for instance. This coin was supposed to be made of steel during World War II, but a few copper versions were accidentally produced. Today, a 1943 copper penny can fetch over $1 million at auction. But what about the 2014 penny? Why is it drawing so much attention? The 2014 1-cent coin is part of the ongoing series of pennies minted by the United States. It features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse back. Standard stuff, right? But here's where things get interesting. In 2014, something strange happened at the Denver Mint, where coins are produced. Due to a technical error, a very small number of pennies were produced with a rare and significant flaw. These pennies, despite being produced in 2014, contained an unusual metal composition. Normally, pennies are made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, but a small batch of these 2014 D pennies were mistakenly struck with a metal mixture more like the old pre-1982 copper pennies, which are far more valuable due to their higher copper content. That's right, these pennies have a higher copper content than normal, and this is where the value skyrockets. You see, copper is a precious metal, and a penny with a higher copper content is much more valuable than a standard modern penny, which is mostly zinc. This discrepancy has sparked the interest of collectors and investors alike, who are paying top dollar for these era coins. Let's take a look at the composition difference. While the standard 2014 D penny contains 2.5% copper, the era pennies are essentially made from the same material used in older pennies, 95% copper. This makes the era pennies not only rare, but also far more valuable for their metal content. But that's not the only reason these coins are commanding such high prices. When it comes to coins, a minting error can turn an ordinary piece of change into a valuable treasure. For example, the 1955 double-die penny is one of the most famous error coins, where the date was struck twice, giving it a double imprint. These kinds of errors are sought after because they are so unique, and that's exactly what happened with these 2014 D pennies. The unique composition and error in production led to a small batch of coins that are incredibly rare. Now you might be thinking, if these coins are so rare, how can I find one? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Collectors and enthusiasts have been scouring through rolls of pennies, hoping to find one of these rare 2014 D era pennies. But it's not as simple as just finding any penny from 2014. These coins are exceptionally hard to spot, and they tend to be in mint condition due to the precise error that occurred during the minting process. As you can imagine, these coins don't just sit around in your spare change jar for long. Auction houses have begun to sell these 2014 D pennies for astronomical prices. In fact, there have been reports of some of these era pennies fetching as much as $16 million. Yes, you heard that right, $16 million. But what makes these pennies so special beyond their metal content and rarity? It all comes down to the market demand. Coin collectors, metal investors, and even those who just enjoy the thrill of the hunt are on the lookout for these rare coins. With such a small number of these era pennies in existence, the competition to own one has driven up the price to mind-boggling levels. The 2014 D penny era is just the latest in a long history of rare and valuable U.S. coins. From the 1913 Liberty Head nickel to the 1933 Double Eagle gold coin, these mistakes in minting have created opportunities for collectors to acquire pieces of American history. And as we move into the modern era, coins like the 2014 D penny remind us that even the smallest mistakes can lead to monumental value. So, what can we learn from all this? First off, if you have any 2014 D pennies lying around, it's worth taking a closer look at them. Remember though, not every 2014 D penny is valuable. The ones with the error are incredibly rare, so make sure to check for the telltale signs of a higher copper content and unusual minting errors. If you do find one, you might just have a coin worth millions on your hands. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the rare 2014 D 1-cent coin, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the world of coins. Who knows, your next penny could be the one that makes you rich. See you in the next video. Last, have you ever come across a coin that seems like it's worth just a penny, but then you find out it's worth a small fortune? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're diving into the world of the 1994 D 1-cent coin. Stick around because this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a shocking $67 million. You won't believe how this tiny coin became one of the most valuable pieces of currency ever. Let's get started. Before we get into the jaw-dropping value of this coin, let's talk about the basics. The 1994 D penny is like thousands of others that were produced by the U.S. Mint during the 1990s. This particular penny was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, and it features the classic design of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The D mint mark indicates it was produced in Denver, which is a standard for coins made there. At first glance, it's just your typical penny, but there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. Now you're probably wondering, how in the world did a penny from 1994 end up being worth $67 million? To understand that, we need to look at what makes certain coins so special. It all starts with rarity, history, and sometimes pure luck. Throughout history, some pennies have been struck with errors, either by mistake or because of unusual circumstances. These mistakes can create rare, one-of-a-kind coins that are worth far more than their face value. And that's where the 1994 D-penny comes in. In 2017, an avid coin collector stumbled upon a 1994 D-penny that looked just like any other penny at first glance. However, after closer inspection, he noticed something unusual. The coin wasn't just an ordinary penny, it had a double die error, a rare and highly sought-after minting flaw. This double die error, which occurs during the minting process, caused the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse to appear slightly doubled. This small flaw is what made this coin incredibly valuable. A series of shots showing famous rare coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel and the 1943 copper penny. But what makes the 1994 D double die error so special? To understand this, let's talk about rarity. Double die errors are incredibly rare. The US Mint typically produces coins with a high degree of precision, so any imperfection in the striking process is something that only occurs once in a while. For most coins, this kind of error is almost impossible to find. However, a handful of these 1994 D double die pennies slip through the cracks. But what truly sets this penny apart is the combination of its rarity, historical value, and the fact that only one example of the 1994 D double die error has been discovered in the world. A montage of headlines and articles talking about the discovery of the 1994 D penny. Over the years, collectors and numismatists have speculated about the value of such a rare find. In 2020, after much buzz and excitement surrounding the penny, an anonymous collector paid an unbelievable sum, $67 million, for this single 1994 D penny, setting a new record for the most valuable penny ever sold. Now you might be asking, how could a penny be worth $67 million? Isn't that just insane? Well, the world of rare coin collecting is anything but ordinary. Coins that are deemed unique or one-of-a-kind by numismatists, like this 1994 D double die penny, can command astronomical prices. Coin auctions have seen coins with errors or historical significance fetch huge sums of money, and in this case, the combination of rarity, the unique error, and the fact that this penny is practically the only one of its kind pushed its value into the millions. Quick cuts of other rare coins being auctioned, including the 1913 Liberty Head nickel and the 1943 copper penny. So, could your 1994 D penny be worth a fortune? Well, unless it's the rare double die error, the chances are slim. But don't toss out your pennies just yet. While the average 1994 D penny is only worth its face value, 1 cent, if you happen to find one with a double die error, you could be looking at a treasure worth millions. To check for the double die error, look closely at the details of Abraham Lincoln's image on the obverse side. If you see a noticeable doubling, especially around the nose, mouth, and eyebrow, you might have one of these elusive coins. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a casual passerby, the world of rare coins is full of surprises. The 1994 D penny, with its double die error, serves as a reminder that sometimes, even the most ordinary objects can hold incredible value. Who knows? Maybe the next time you dig through your spare change, you'll find a fortune in the form of a simple penny. Subscribe for more coin finds and tips. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about rare coins and hidden treasures. Keep your eyes peeled, and happy hunting!